Okay, so today we're learning about how Hitler established a dictatorship after January 1933. So we've got two learning objectives. First, understand the problems that Hitler faced when trying to establish a dictatorship in 1933. Second, understand how to achieve full marks in a describe GCSE style question. Okay. First, let's just have a look at this photo of Hitler here. What can you tell me about the crowds? Yeah, so they're cheering, they look happy. See, they're trying to shake Hitler's hand, and Hitler looks really happy, doesn't he? I mean, look at the man next to him. The man next to him is beaming, big smile on his face. This photo is 1934. Okay, so this is a year after 1933. In 1934, Hitler has taken power, complete power. He is a dictator, okay? And that means there's no one challenging him, okay? He has complete control of the government, of the army, and of all of the state institutions of Germany, okay? But we're looking at 1933. In 1933, Hitler does not have complete control. He's having to share power, and he doesn't want to share, okay? He wants complete power. But let's just look at some keywords here, okay? Dictatorship, a government where all rules and decisions are made by one person without input from anyone else. So in the UK, we've got the Prime Minister, yeah? But the Prime Minister doesn't make rules by himself. Okay, he's got his cabinet, okay, and his cabinet will make all their different decisions. They might challenge the Prime Minister on things that they disagree with him on, and together they build a policy agenda, or they build laws that they want to pass. But even then, they have to bring those laws to Parliament, okay, and they need 50% of MPs in the UK Parliament to agree to the laws to then pass Parliament. So all the decisions are made by different people, okay? Power is it's spread out across, like bread on, like butter on toast, okay? The power is spread everywhere. Prime Minister has a bit, cabinet has a bit, government has a bit. But a dictatorship, it's just one person making all the rules, and that's what Hitler wants. He wants to be that one person. The Reichstag is the German parliament, okay? It's very similar to our own. And here we can see a photo of the Reichstag. That Reichstag in the background, that's what it looks like in 1933. It's strong, it's clean, all the windows are nice, the flags are there. But in just 12 years after 1933, it's going to look like this one in the foreground here, destroyed, okay? There's a tank in the right there, all the windows are gone, the lawns are wrecked, okay? But in 1933, it looks nice, okay? So that's where we're at. Finally, a coup. A coup is an attempt to take over a government by force, using guns and bullets rather than pens and paper. So when we change governments in the UK, okay, I vote, my parents vote, your parents vote, my friends vote, everyone votes, and all the votes are tallied up, and whoever gets the most votes takes power, okay? But in a coup, one group of people, usually armed, so they've usually got access to guns and bullets or swords in history. In history, they had different weapons. They take power through violence, okay? They don't ask the people what they want, they just take power. And coups still happen today. So look, we can see in this photo, there's people shouting at the soldiers who are trying to take power. They're throwing things at them. They're not happy because they're not being given a say, are they, in what happens? Now, this coup failed, and as we'll see, Hitler tried to have a coup, and he also failed to take power. Okay, so coups don't always work. You know, sometimes the people who try and take power are too weak, okay? So let's just have a quick look at this photo. We can see people shouting. Okay, now let's move on to some context. Okay, so Hitler before 1933. Okay, he's leading the Nazi Party by 1921. Okay, so 12 years before 1933. And he tries a coup, just like the one in Bolivia that happened last year. It fails. Okay, and not only does Hitler not have power, he's put in jail. Look at this photo here. He's looking out the prison window at this emoji. He's a loser, okay? He doesn't have any power, okay? He looks quite depressed, he's sad, but this is 1924. In 9 years, okay, he'll become Chancellor, and in 10 years, he will be Führer, dictator of Germany. Okay, so it's important. Before 1933, he's a loser. Next thing to understand, the November 1932 election. So let's just look at this diagram here. So look on the left, November 1932, that big red bar is 33% of the votes, okay, and they are held by the Nazi Party, okay? So all the people in Germany have voted, and 33% of people wrote Nazi on their paper, okay? But all these different colours here, they're all different parties, Okay, now to pass any laws in the Reichstag, you need at least 50% of votes. Well, what number do the Nazis have? Yeah, 33%. So they're not going to be able to pass any laws through the Reichstag without the support of other parties. And other parties are not going to agree to Hitler becoming a dictator, to taking complete power, because they want power. Okay, so this is a big problem. Hitler might lead the largest party in the Reichstag, so he's got 33%. No one else has that many, but he doesn't have the power to pass all the laws through the Reichstag that he wants to. Okay, now because Hitler is the largest party in the Reichstag, he becomes Chancellor. Okay, so let's just have a look at this photo here. What can you tell me about the man to the left of Hitler there? Yeah, he doesn't look happy, does he? He's maybe uncomfortable, he looks a bit sad, a bit angry, but Hitler, he looks very happy. This man to the left is President Hindenburg, okay? The president is elected directly by the people, okay? But he's not anything to do with the Reichstag. The president has to choose whoever leads the largest party in the Reichstag. Now, from the last diagram, we can understand that the largest party is the Nazi party. So President Hindenburg has to choose Hitler, but he doesn't like Hitler, okay? So he's not going to let Hitler do whatever he wants, okay? He's a block to Hitler's desire for a dictatorship, okay? So Hitler can't pass all the legislation to the Reichstag he wants because he doesn't have 50%. And his boss, President Hindenburg, doesn't like him, okay? So there's two big obstacles, okay? Finally, if we have a look here, the Nazi Party. So Hitler is the leader of the Nazi Party, which is now the largest party in the Reichstag, but the Nazi Party still contains individuals that challenge Hitler for power, okay? So Hitler might be the big boss, but there's lots of little bosses below him who are trying to become the big boss as well. So for example, Ernst Röhm, okay? So this is a man who was the leader of the violent SA militia. So the SA militia is like Hitler's private army. They've helped Hitler up until this point to take power. But now Hitler thinks that Ernst Röhm, okay, the man that leads this private army, is a threat. Okay, so let's look at this cartoon here. How does Hitler look? Yeah, he looks scary, doesn't he? He's holding a loaded gun. He's shot some people behind him. Now these people, they're Nazis. They're his party. Okay, so this is 1934. But in 1933, Hitler's scared of these Nazis, okay? He doesn't know what to do because they want to take power from him, but he doesn't want to give power up, okay? Now we've been through that, can you describe to me, just give me two problems that Hitler faced when he was trying to establish his dictatorship after January 1933? Yeah, brilliant, okay. They're two great problems, okay? Now let's just look at an example answer that I've done, okay? So I want you to understand how to answer this question to get full marks. So first, we need to understand that describe doesn't mean evaluate or analyse. We just need two clear problems and two clear bits of evidence. Okay, so all the answer is going to be is 4 sentences. For example, first sentence, one problem Hitler faced was that although he was now Chancellor, he did not have a majority in the Reichstag. Our evidence, in the November 1932 election, the Nazis only won 33% of the vote. And we know from the diagram that to pass any laws, you need 50% of the vote, but Hitler doesn't have that. Problem 2. Another problem Hitler faced was a perceived power threat within the Nazi Party that threatened his desire for total control. For example, Ernst Röhm controlled the violent SA militia and wanted to take control of the army from Hitler. Okay, so there we've got two clear bits of evidence that we've taken from our lesson, and we've got two clear problems that we understand made Hitler stopped Hitler from establishing a dictatorship. Okay, great. That'd be great. Okay.